The road to Black Hollow Farm was long, empty, and surrounded by endless cornfields. Daniel Carter had been driving for nearly 3 hours. He had just lost his job in Chicago and desperately needed work. When he saw the online listing, it seemed perfect. Farmhand needed, housing included, good pay, immediate start. The strange part? The farm had no phone number, only an address. But Daniel was desperate, and desperate people ignore strange things. The sun was setting when Daniel finally reached the farm. An old wooden sign stood beside the road. Black Hollow Farm. The letters were faded, almost scratched into the wood. The property was huge. A massive red barn. A farmhouse with dim lights glowing in the windows. Cornfields stretching for miles. And workers, dozens of them. Men and women harvesting crops. Even though it was already getting dark, Daniel frowned. Working this late? He parked his truck and walked toward the farmhouse. One worker slowly turned to look at him. The man's face looked pale, extremely pale, and his eyes looked empty. But Daniel ignored it. Inside the farmhouse, an old man sat at the dining table. His name was Mr. Whitaker. Tall, thin, gray beard, and a smile that felt wrong. "You must be Daniel," he said. Daniel nodded. "You got the job posting?" Whitaker nodded slowly. "Yes, we always need workers here." Daniel noticed something strange. There were dozens of muddy boots by the door, but the house felt quiet, too quiet. "Where are the other workers?" Daniel asked. Whitaker smiled. "Oh, they're outside." Daniel nodded. "They sure work late." Whitaker leaned forward. His eyes darkened. "They work all night." Whitaker showed Daniel to a small bedroom upstairs. "You start tomorrow morning," he said. Then he added something strange. "If you hear footsteps outside your window tonight," Whitaker paused, "don't look." Daniel laughed nervously. "Why?" Whitaker simply said, "Just don't." Then he left. Daniel couldn't sleep. The farm felt strange. Too quiet. No animals. No crickets. Nothing. And he heard it. Footsteps. Slow footsteps walking through the dirt outside his window. One pair. Then another. Then dozens. Like people marching across the farm. Daniel sat up in bed. Whitaker's warning echoed in his mind. Don't look. But curiosity won. He slowly walked to the window and looked outside. Daniel's heart nearly stopped. The workers were still in the fields, harvesting crops, under the moonlight. But now he could see them clearly. Their skin looked gray, their clothes looked torn, and their movements were wrong, slow, jerky, like broken puppets. Then one of them stopped working. Slowly, the worker turned toward Daniel's window. Even from far away, the figure could see him. The worker's mouth slowly opened and let out a sound. A horrible whisper carried by the wind. "He sees us." Daniel barely slept, but morning came. Sunlight filled the farm. Everything looked normal again. Workers harvesting crops, tractors moving, people talking. Daniel sighed in relief. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe it was a nightmare. He went outside to meet the workers. The workers barely spoke. They kept their heads down. Their skin still looked pale. Daniel tried talking to one man. "Hey, how long have you worked here?" The man slowly looked up. His eyes were hollow. "Since 1987, Daniel chuckled. "Wow, that's a long time." The man didn't laugh. Instead, he whispered, "I never left." Later that afternoon, Daniel walked toward the back of the property and froze. Behind the barn was a small cemetery. Dozens of graves, all old, all worn, and every name looked familiar. Daniel felt his stomach drop. The names on the graves were the same as the workers on the farm. Daniel ran back to the farmhouse. He burst into the kitchen where Whitaker sat drinking coffee. "What is this place?" Whitaker calmly took a sip. "You found the graves?" Daniel's voice shook. "The workers? They're dead." Whitaker nodded slowly. "Yes." Daniel stepped back. "Then who was working outside?" Whitaker smiled. "The same workers." Whitaker stood up and walked to the window. 40 years ago, there was a fire. The barn burned down during harvest. Every worker died. Daniel whispered, "So why are they still here?" Whitaker turned slowly. "Because the farm never stopped needing workers." Daniel felt chills run down his spine. Whitaker's smile widened. "And now, it needs one more." That night the footsteps returned, but this time they stopped at Daniel's door. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel didn't move. Then a voice whispered through the door, "We used to be like you." Another voice joined, "We came for work." Another whisper, "We never left." Daniel grabbed his phone. No signal. He tried leaving the house, but the door wouldn't open. From the hallway, he heard something terrifying. Heavy footsteps climbing the stairs. Dozens of them, slow, dragging, coming toward his room. The voices whispered together, "New worker, new worker, new worker." The door handle slowly turned. Daniel backed into the corner. The door creaked open. The workers stood in the hallway, their faces now completely gray, eyes hollow, mouths hanging open, and behind them, Mr. Whitaker smiled. "Welcome to Black Hollow Farm." Then he whispered the words Daniel would never forget. "You'll be working here forever." A week later, a traveler passed the farm. He saw workers harvesting crops in the distance. One of them turned toward the road. The worker looked new, young, terrified. It was Daniel. His skin now pale, eyes empty, still working, still trapped, just like the others, because at Black Hollow Farm, no worker ever leaves. They only keep working, even after they die. The END. Subscribe for more.